Welcome to the Myth Storytime as a part of the Imagine Your Story Summer Reading Program. My name is Mary Ann Wright, and I'm a 4-H area educator with Lincoln University Cooperative Extension. I, along with the Caruthersville Public Library, am very excited to be presenting today's story. This week is all about myths and mythology. In yesterday's introduction video, we learned about what a myth was and discussed several types of mythology. Today's story is from Greek mythology. We are going to be learning about a god and a goddess by the names of Apollo and Artemis. I'm going to be reading a portion of the book, Leto's Hidden Twins, Artemis and Apollo. This book is part of the Professor Beaver Mythology Books for Kids series. Let's go ahead and get started. Zeus, the god of all Olympian gods, had a romance with Leto, who was a Titan goddess. She became pregnant with Zeus's child, but Zeus went forward to marry the goddess Hera. When Hera found out about Leto, she went into a fury and sent the beast Python to make it impossible for Leto to give birth. Eventually, Zeus sent the south wind to help Leto, and she ended up on a rocky island where she gave birth to her daughter Artemis and eventually to Apollo, Artemis's twin brother. Both Apollo and his sister Artemis became masterful at archery. Zeus gave Apollo a golden bow with golden arrows, and as soon as Apollo was an expert archer, he went in search of Python to kill it. He wanted to seek revenge on the horrible beast that has caused his mother, Leto, so much pain. Apollo found the python at the base of Mount Parnassus. He raced up the side of the mountain and shot a fiery arrow, which struck the giant serpent. The monster screamed in agony and left behind a trail of blood as it slithered into the cave at Delphi, which was considered to be a sacred place belonging to Mother Earth. Apollo couldn't follow the beast inside there, since it was a sanctuary where fighting was forbidden. So instead, he breathed on his fiery arrows to create smoke and filled the cave with smoky fumes. The beast emerged out of the cave, and Apollo killed it and kept its hide as a souvenir of his revenge. However, Mother Earth was upset that Apollo had killed the beast so close to the sacred cave. She went to Zeus with her complaints. Apollo made amends by naming the annual sports performed at Delphi the Pythian Games. This was really a clever way to announce his own victory over the beast. Zeus loved his son Apollo, but he also loved his daughter Artemis. Apollo seemed to be bathed in a golden light, but Artemis had a beautiful silvery sheen to her. When she was 3 years old, Zeus asked her what she wanted, and she made an unusual set of wishes. She had decided that she always wanted to be a young girl and never be given in marriage to any mortal or god. She also wanted a silver bow with silver arrows and the freedom to hunt wild and free in the mountains with a pack of fierce hunting hounds. Zeus told her that she could have her wishes. Artemis went to the god of the forge to get her silver bow and arrows. His name was Hephaestus, but he couldn't make them for her. He said that such a bow with its accompanying arrows would need to be forged under the water bathed in cold light. So Artemis went to the sea to ask the Cyclopses, who were the one-eyed creatures responsible for creating Zeus's thunderbolts. They fashioned the beautiful magical arrows, quiver, and bow for her. As soon as the quiver that held the arrows was empty, it filled up again. Then she went to Pan, the god of the mountains and shepherds. He offered her his 10 best bloodhounds. From then forward, Artemis spent her days running through the forests, hunting deer, and racing across the sky. She was worshipped as the maiden goddess of the moon and the stars. The men who decided to pursue her were chased away by her pack of lively bloodhounds. She lived alone but was content with her life. Sometimes when young women didn't want to be married off to someone they didn't love, they prayed to the goddess Artemis to save them. According to many Greek legends, Artemis saved the women, but she turned them into parts of the forest, such as trees or deer. Evidently, the Greeks believed that it was better to become a magical plant or animal than to be married to a spouse one didn't love. So that is just part of the book, Leto's Hidden Twins, Artemis and Apollo. I hope you enjoyed it. And like we discussed yesterday, myths were created to explain things that happened in nature or the world. And so when we look at Artemis and Apollo, we see that they explain different things like the sun and the moon. Oftentimes in Greek mythology, Artemis is represented by the moon and Apollo by the sun. One thing that these two are very good at and known for was their archery skills. So tomorrow in our Take and Make activity, we are going to be making our own bow and arrow with our activity called Archery with Artemis and Apollo. So I hope you join me back for tomorrow's video. It's going to be posting at 1 o'clock. So before that, you should stop by the library to pick up your Take and Make activity pack, which will include all of the supplies that you need for this activity. While you're there, you can also sign up for the summer reading program if you haven't done so yet. And that way you can be sure that you don't miss any of the fun activities that we're doing this summer. I hope you enjoyed our Greek myth today and that you join us again tomorrow for our activity. Thanks. Bye-bye.